Shalom, everybody. I want you to listen to this, and I mean these following words with all of my heart. We are witnessing the greatest generation of Jewish warriors in this war since King David's time. As I have a few minutes right now, a little break in my night patrol, I wanted to share something truly unbelievable and unique about Israel's role in this war, and it's something that's probably hard to comprehend if you don't live here in Israel. So I want to take a moment and I want you to think about this. All right, really, really think about this. How many countries do you know in the world where soldiers fighting in that country's army are killed in wars when they are fathers of 4 children, 6 children, 8 children, and even 10 children? Think about that. Honestly, I can't think of one country in the world with such a demographic of dedicated fighters willing to risk their lives in war, unless, of course, you look back at history of countries who forced citizens to fight, right, despite if they wanted to or not. But fathers of large families who voluntarily go out to fight for their countries, I don't know one, except for the Jewish state of Israel. In most places, soldiers killed in combat are in their late teens, early 20s, maybe a bit older. Some may be married with a child or two, but Israel is totally different. The Jewish state is paying an enormous, heavy price. And every day we are losing holy IDF soldiers who are fathers of large families in the battles taking place in Gaza and southern Lebanon. Many of these soldiers are not young men at all. Some of them even have children who are also serving in the IDF alongside them sometimes in this war. It's a reality that exists in probably no other country in the world, and that few can even fathom this reality. In Israel, while we have a mandatory draft at 18 years of age, our regular army is only a fraction of the IDF's overall manpower during wartime. Because it goes like this. Israel is a country that relies on its reserves for wars. The regular army is there to hold the front lines in the beginning of the war until the reserve units are brought in to join in the war effort. This has been the case in every single war in Israel's short 76-year history. So the vast majority of our military is comprised of reserve soldiers. Like me, I'm over 50 years old. And we're seeing the heartbreaking impact of that situation today more than in any other war we have ever experienced in our 76-year history. See, over the past few days, we here in Israel have lost a number of fathers of large families. Rabbi Avram Yosef Goldberg, Hashem Yikom Damo, was just killed, and he and his wife have 8 children. Shaul Moyal, another holy IDF soldier killed in battle, was the father of 10 children. For us, these are not statistics. These people are fathers who won't come home. Just over the last few days, 75 new orphans were created in Israel, all because their fathers, heroes in every single sense, were killed in one of the battles, either in Gaza or southern Lebanon. What makes the story even more powerful is the fact that many of these soldiers, as I said earlier, are volunteers. In Israel, once a man has 6 children, he is exempt from going to reserve duty ever again. When a man reaches his early 40s, we're also exempt from going to reserve duty ever again. And yet, Israel has many fathers with more than 6 children who continue to show up and serve in these wars, and plenty of men in their 50s, 60s, and even 70s who continue to volunteer to fight for our people and for our country. This is not a normal reality anywhere else in the world. Now I want to share a story with you that truly captures this incredible dedication. Just yesterday, while I was in my own IDF reserve duty, and I too could have stopped serving in the reserves 10 years ago, as I told you before, I'm over the age of 50. Well, I heard a story that struck me so deeply, and I'm going to share that story with you right now. A young IDF soldier fighting on October 7th against Hamas terrorists was shot in the chest by one of those despicable barbarian Hamas terrorists. Miraculously, though, the bullet didn't create an exit wound, but was lodged into a muscle in his chest. That soldier could have easily been killed. Instead, the doctor miraculously saved his life by removing the bullet and patching him up. But that is not all. The very next day, that IDF soldier returned to his unit and continued fighting, and he's still fighting until this day, a year into the war. Isn't that mind-blowing? Despite nearly losing his life, he did not stop. He continued to show up. That is the unbreakable, unbelievable, miraculous warrior spirit of the Jewish people in the land of Israel today. So, yes, we're paying a heavy, heavy price in this war. A war that we didn't start, but one that we have to finish to the end. But it's a price we are willing to pay if it means we can finally end the decades of Islamo-Nazi evil that we have around us and living even within us as Israeli citizens. After years of being sold the delusion of the two-state solution and the lie that a fake people called Palestinians, really our enemy, are peace partners, well, October 7th, the massacre woke up the vast majority of the Jewish population in Israel today. They see now that there is no peace with an enemy driven by a religious ideology that calls for our annihilation, an ideology that has been driving them to kill us for thousands of years. Hence their chants of Khaybar, Khaybar, Ya Yehud, referring to the Muslim massacre of Jews in the village of Khaybar back in the year 628 AD. What's heartbreaking, though, is that the very population who were at the forefront warning Israel and Israelis and our politicians about the dangers of this peace delusion, and that's the religious Zionist resettler community of Israel like me, we're the ones paying the heaviest price in this war. We're the fathers of those large families. We are the ones who have been warning Israel for decades that the Oslo peace process was a Trojan horse to destroy Israel, that appeasing our enemies, giving them our land, and giving them guns that they would end up using to kill us would bring more terror and death and not bring any peace. Yet we were the ones who were called the enemies in peace and the crazies and the messianics and delegitimized. And it is men of all ages from this religious Zionist community and the resettler community in Judea and Samaria that constitutes an extremely large percentage of the deaths in this war and many of those fathers. Not only the fathers of large families, but also the young men who will never get the chance to marry or to have children or to be able to build a family of their own. Yes, Israelis and Jews from all sectors of our society have been killed in this war, not just from the religious Zionist community. I'm just highlighting the extremely high percentage of the religious Zionist community of those killed in this war, of which me and my family are a part of, despite our community being a much smaller percentage of Israeli society overall. But I'm not telling you all this to sadden you. I'm telling you all this to inspire you. I want you to understand and to internalize the unbelievable strength, morality, holiness, and self-sacrifice of the Jewish people today in the land of Israel. The world may try to blame Israel for all that's wrong in this war and blame us for all the evil in this world, but we Jews know the truth. And we will no longer accept the immoral double standards of the Western world that has lost its way and lost its morality, the progressive wokeism. We, the proud Jews of Israel today, are finally standing up for real morality by doing what's right, by showing the world what it truly means to fight to destroy evil, and by leading with pride and in justice, and with a faith in God above, in a sense reminding the world about the greatest generation of Americans who risked their lives to fight the Nazis just around 80 years ago. On top of all this, we are witnessing in awe, inspiring reality in Israel today, one that many of us never imagined we'd ever see. Today's young Israeli fighters, those 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, they represent the greatest generation of proud Jewish fighters since the days of King David himself in our Holy Land and for the Jewish people. This generation stands tall as a generation of victory, a generation of heroism that we, and indeed the world, have not seen on this scale in modern history. Their bravery and unity come at a high, high cost, but their determination to secure the future of the Jewish people in our ancestral homeland is unbreakable. Yes, we've suffered a horrific tragedy in the October 7th massacre. The pain of that day and its aftermath is unfathomable, and the scars will stay with us forever. But this is a generation that doesn't only carry the weight of that tragedy. This is a generation that is already transcending it. They are taking this low point in our Jewish history, and instead of letting it defeat us, we are all drawing from it to unleash the spirit of the Lion of Judah in our modern times. The long dormant inner power of a sovereign Jewish people has been reawakened in our ancestral homeland of Israel like never before in our history. This isn't just another war. This is an awakening. The Jewish spirit has been unleashed, and it's roaring with strength and unity like the world hasn't seen in thousands of years. And yes, it's thanks to us having guns to defend ourselves. And for decades, many of us have tried to warn the world, and even our own Jewish brothers and sisters, that the attacks on Israel and Jews worldwide are not about territory or policy or whatever other cockamamie lies they make about us. Our enemies target us simply because we are Jews, and those of us living in Israel on our homeland. This generation understands that, and for the first time we are seeing a unity of purpose like never before. The young people stepping up to defend Israel in the IDF today are fully aware that they're not just defending a plot of land, but the very identity and future of the Jewish people. They are fighting with a clarity of purpose that runs to the core of who we are as a people. And my wife and I are proud to be parents of some of those young Jews today in the land of Israel in this fight. Now, Hamas named this war the Al-Aqsa Flood, with clear intentions to seize control of our Temple Mount, because Al-Aqsa refers to the Temple Mount, and to deny our Jewish historical right to Jerusalem, our eternal capital since the time of King David. This generation of fighters knows what's at stake, and they've decided that the time has come to reclaim not just our land, but our Jewish pride and our actual, real history interconnected with this land. If this battle is about Al-Aqsa, the Temple Mount, for our enemies, then it is about time we Jews as well finally turn our eyes toward our rightful heritage and embrace our identity, our full identity connected to this land, Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, Judea and Samaria, Gaza, with pride. If they see it as a battle for Jerusalem, the core of our Jewish identity, and they claim to our homeland, then let it be so, for we will not retreat from our capital or from our homeland, the heart of the Jewish people, for millennia. It's clearer now than ever. We're not only defending our country, we're paving the way forward towards a proud Jewish future that includes the ultimate symbol of our connection to the land, the rebuilding of our third temple in Jerusalem. This generation of fighters understands what we're fighting for. It's about Jerusalem. It's about our holy temple. It's about our existence as a sovereign Jewish nation in our ancient homeland. It's about the very existence of the Jewish people in this world against an anti-God, Islamo-Nazi enemy aimed at destroying us. So what you see today is the Jewish people standing in unity, standing with faith, and standing as proud Jews, determined to fulfill the legacy that has been entrusted to us by God above. This is the time, and this is the generation that will carry us forward. We are in the generation of warriors. So let the world witness what the Lion of Judah truly means. We, Jews from Judea, and these are the Judean hills right here, we are here. We are home, we are strong, we are proud, and we will pay the price to ensure that we defeat our Islamo-Nazi enemy. Yisrael Chai, the people of Israel live on, and we are here to stay. This is the generation of redemption. This is the generation of victory. and we're going to make it so. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm going to get back to my night patrol. In the meantime, if you are not yet a subscriber to our daily Pulse of Israel videos with the belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth about Israel, the Jewish people, and the freedom-loving world, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And you know, we're a donor-based organization. We need your support. We're heavily censored across all social media channels and shadow bans, so hardly anyone gets to see what we're putting out there. If you believe that these messages are important, help us. Click on the donate button every once in a while on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone. Thanks for watching. Strengthen your faith in the one above. With all the pain, we're bringing the good times.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.